Absolutely. As now we see the drivers make their way into the pit boxes. Dobbs, Robertson, Kinder, Barlow going to go all through four of them and take his place on the first pit stall. Wide bracket falling in behind. As now we wait to see these four tires and fuel and who's going to be able to win off pit road first. Adam Lancaster drops the jack first. Alan Dobbs is going to get off away early as Lancaster is going to jump all the way up to third with that, almost beat Robertson, and they make contact, and that is not what you want to see. That might be a pit exit violation on 28, but that is a very devastating blow to number 2 car. You got to hope he didn't get too much damage out of that, but that was a hard hit to the inside wall.
Down the straightaway, we'll get a replay here and show you that one again. That car was really consistent and really strong. I was thinking Robertson was going to be a big factor in the finish of this race. You see Adam Lancaster and Brandon Robertson coming out side by side from the exit of the pit lane, and there was for the completion of 4 fresh tires on that machine. Dobbs got him out of the pit lane, no question about that, but Lancaster got a really great pit stop, came out beside him, and just trying to have enough room between both himself and the wall and himself and Lancaster. Obviously, he misjudged how much room he had to his right side and just clipped that wall. Unfortunately, that's going to be a big blow for Brandon Robertson, but he should be able to get that car fixed up and maybe before we even get back to green flag racing, get it back on the grid.
So getting on pit lane is going to matter a lot. Getting off of pit lane is going to matter a bunch as well. And we also see that margin from second and third starting to close up on the race leader, Jesse Webb. We were talking about the headlights. He was making good use of them there, trying to warn, oh, trouble in front of him. Look out, that's right in front of the leader. He somehow gets by after the 2 lap cars tangle in turn 1.
It looked like Gergois might have gotten on the brakes a little bit too hard, and he will collect Mick Blue as a result. Not too much critical damage for these drivers, but handling is sure to be an issue.
So Gergois, the car that got into the back of Mick Blue, who perhaps was maybe trying to yield to the leader, who was warning that he was en route and on the way. And Mick Blue also ended up spinning around. They now fall a lap behind the leader, who, what a job, though, by Jesse Webb to slam on the brakes as they all came into turn number 1 with a full head of steam. And due to where Gergois' car spun on the pavement as we back into the barrier here on board with Mick Bloom, looks as though that Webb is going to live to fight another day. Here it is out the back of Gergois' car, and here comes Webb. Deep down to turn number 1, just right into the back of Mick Blue, and there goes Webb, able to squeeze on by, and just like that, that is how quickly things can come undone for the front runners in lap traffic.
7 rather, and it ends up working for Bruno, but I'm not so sure that I would have done the same thing there into turn 1 like that, or turn 2 rather. Oh, Safeker's around!
Okay.
Oh, Jesdal had that big issue. Whoa!
Hey, just punted him right around. Luckily, he was able to get that thing fired up really quick, Jesdal.
Yeah, that was Jesdal who goes around out of 7. That's what I was saying. He is the reason this all happened. So Jesdal has this spin, and wow, he just got on the power, I think, too much in that compression and spun the car around, and suddenly here comes Nate Siefker, and Siefker's just got this big head of steam. It goes off track to clear him and then gets punted off for doing so. I'm not sure that was intentional from Jesdal. I think it just ended up happening that way. Of course, Siefker going off track like that probably is already on the binders as soon as he gets back to the black there. And Jesdal just wasn't ready. Let's put that behind us. We've got to restart to focus on 2 laps to go. It's green, white, checkered. Out of 100 laps, we now have 2 more to go to make it 104. Anthony Masadi, the race leader. Jeremy Berger, second place. The 2-car Jack Ryan in there as well. How does this shake down?
You see Stephen Parrott. We haven't seen much of him. So here it is. Oh, and they're wrecking.
That's everybody.
Oh,
that's everybody.
Down. Yeah, that's the whole field right there coming
Holden
back
McGill
again.
just did a barrel roll out of turn 4. Everybody's in this, and we're still crashing. We're still crashing. We're still crashing. Oh my. Oh, we're still crashing up here. We're creating new crashes. Oh boy.
In the field. We'll get a replay, and I don't know if you can pick out one single car to follow this one, because this included most of the cars left in this race.
If you look at that, Landon Durhold was the only person to get through that.
I've never seen a crash quite like this. You know what? We're setting new marks every day. It looks like Joseph just, I mean, he's in the throttle. He has every right to be, and just hooks the 49. And, I mean, there's nowhere to go for anybody. Logan Durhold, you're right. Gets through. Oh, somebody else. Who was that? Forward on the bottom side. Oh, you know what? That was Kevin Franks we were talking about a while ago. How he might be in this thing. He's back in it, boys. Oh, my. I don't know.
It's hard to keep control of it, and while that didn't cause the yellow itself, because obviously you see Joseph just trying to give the shove that he needs to get the momentum towards the front, but it's this part of the turn. It's where you get back into the banking change is where the rest of the field's going to have a problem, because they're going to have...
We're going to watch Kevin Franks go through this. You see them starting to wreck a little bit in front. He's going to dive down to the apron, gets a little bit loose. You see Landon Durhold in front of him, and he just gets away scot-free. One of the few cars of the field that gets by scot-free.
Sure. How about this, though? Nearly 3 wide for third spot. Brunnemer under fire from Ledecky, who's got drafting help. They almost come together at the start-finish line, and that's John Wittendorf trying to find a way through. And how about Hansen? He's trying to draw even here. We're back on board with Beats as they come to turn 2. They're going to survive the corner there. No look for the lead for the time being, but Hansen had a huge run just behind to try to get up into the top 5. And there's trouble. That's Hansen crashing there as they come through turn 4.
And James Hansen was a driver who entered the championship picture third in points. And while he will have that drop week as available, this is probably going to be the round where he's going to have to take it. He's probably falling back into it, the 20s or the 30s. And that was absolutely massive contact.
I believe Brady Lubenow was one of the cars involved. Hansen was in 6th. Noticed that he had a huge run up the main straightaway. Looks as though may have tried to pull out and make a move. And you see, this is coming through turn 2. Oh, it started there with Ledecky. Ledecky got loose. The field stacked up behind him. And by the time the accordion kind of got back to where Lubenow was running in company, Hansen was already sideways, and Lubenow ended up piling in.
Yeah, unfortunate to just see so many early runners get collected. I used the word early already, but yeah, we're early into the running. You definitely don't want to fall out of the picture like this in the first 10 minutes or so of a 60-minute race. But I think just goes to show that these drivers were probably the most aggressive we've seen early in the race so far this season. And I think we're just seeing that Imola is offering a great combination of overtaking opportunities and places to catch back up. And it's still a very difficult circuit, even if it allows a lot of chances to get back up there to a driver ahead of you.
On board with Hansen. There you see the contact there as he got in the back of Wittendorf. Ruderbusch then jacks up Hansen, sends him around, and then it's Lubenow with the big blow that gets Hansen up on his side. Driving there as they go into the corner. Vic trying to find a way through. Almost overcooked turn 5. He'll fall back in line there behind the car, in which he just lost the position to there in Lowry. And this race will continue on up in a 6th spot. While we have a quick look of the top 10, this will open up an opportunity for us to thank some of those on the series side who make this race possible. And take a look at the driver who's currently running in 10th spot. That's Sarah Rabb, +6 on this race as the battle for position continues on. But there's Sarah, been able to keep her nose clean. We mentioned the impressive end. And just as we were talking about Sarah Rabb, she's going to lose it on the power off the corner. She'll now back up out of harm's way, and Sarah Rabb is going to get it right, and she will lose that top 10 starting position. And I believe I owe Sarah Rabb an apology for the jinx here. I was just about to talk about the fact that she has thrown her name on as a series sponsor and supporter. With her liveries by Sarah Rabb, with her graphic design experience of over 7 years, with awards at local, state, and national levels, she's absolutely committed to making sure that your next livery or logo is a masterpiece, just like her beautiful race car here that she had now sent sideways after catching the curve there on driver's right, and that has kicked her out of a top 10 running position. So what a heartbreaker for Sarah Rabb. But nevertheless, we will continue to acknowledge the fact that she supports this series in more ways than one, and hopefully she will have an opportunity to get back up into a top 10 spot before all said and done here.
Man, that
Probably
really
go to
hurts.
third and fourth. We go on the pit lane, see quite a handful of drivers down there, including Tyler Langenberg, who is missing that front end.
Langenberg, a driver who looks as though he has found the edge of disaster here at Imola in this race at about just over the 45 minutes ago mark. And let's go back here and see what happened to Langenberg. Car looks
Sound Art introduces an entirely new way to listen to music in your home. By combining the best of two products, a revolutionary high-fidelity, low-profile Bluetooth wireless speaker with beautiful artwork. Select from a library of artwork or upload your own photos to personalize your experience. Sound Art ushers in an era of invisible, beautiful, and amazing sound throughout your home and redefines your entire entertainment system. The need to reclaim your floor space and rid your home of unsightly speaker boxes that need to be bolted to the wall is now a thing of the past. Our canvas is printed on high-quality permalite by Breathing Color. And select from our gallery or upload your own. Standard sizes include 16 by 20 and 18 by 24 canvas wrapped. Custom sizing is available, as well as surround sound options.
After months of quarantine, we're all interested in how we can become our best self. The team at Permanent Makeup and Cryo is here to help you get the flawless makeup look every day without the extra effort or time. When it comes to your appearance, you deserve the best care that money can buy. Have you found yourself trying to hide your joy because you're unhappy with your teeth? Your smile is the first feature noticed in an interview, on a date, or in family photos. We want you to be able to shine bright as your best self, and our teeth whitening system is the perfect step toward restoring your confidence.
The BRP iRacing series, here we go, continues on now into December 2021. Much has changed since we kicked off the season just about a month ago, with Brandon Plank and Garrett Zacharias have certainly set themselves up for a run at the title. Who wins it at Knoxville? Do the same faces dominate, or can someone else notch a win? There's a few questions on our minds, certainly, as we head into race number 5 of the season. Of course, Joe Donahue and Emerson Arden are along for the ride this evening with the BRP iRacing series. Welcome to the virtual Knoxville, Iowa. We thank you certainly for tuning in on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter all season long, and of course this evening for the 5th round of the series. We're 4 races in now, Joe, so the excuses, they start to fade. No more getting up to speed. If you aren't in mid-season form now, you may well never be. There we go, that's what I was looking for. And the effects of the wild first 4 races, they are certainly present here in these point standings.
For sure, we're definitely starting to get into the grind of this mid-season, and like you said, I think this is time to start kicking it into high gear for some of those guys who haven't really gotten the great performances out of this season they've been looking to start off with. You look at guys like Garrett Zacharias, Brandon Plank, obviously 2 wins each. They're pretty well into form. Travis Miller has been tearing things up. Brett Rowell's very impressive, and that's why those guys are at that top of the list. This top 5, even top 10, for the most part, very consistent. You know, you could have your some slightly off races so far this season, and not to point any fingers or anything, there's plenty of time left for the guys further down, but you're definitely right that it's kind of crunch time to get into that grind. And for guys like Mike Wenner, Jamie Porter, Gavin Isley, you know, you look at that bottom of the top 20 and further behind, if you're not going to start getting those consistent performances and getting those big points now, you are setting yourself up for a tough end of the season.
Yeah, I don't want to say it'd be setting themselves up for failure, but it would be darn close. Certainly, 77 and 71, they are the drivers to watch. To kind of coattail off of what you were talking about a little bit, there's some guys just outside the top 20 that I think still have a way to get up and battle with these guys. Do they go championship racing? I don't know, but there's a lot to be hopeful with for every driver in this top 20. They just need to get things into high gear now if they want to go fight for the title, especially with how dominant we've seen the 77X of Brandon Plank and Travis Miller. Brett Rolls, they're right there with him. Andrew Clark is not that far back. So I think, again, if you want to get up there and want to fight for a championship still and you aren't already, now's the time. Knoxville is the time to get it going. Speaking of the Knoxville Raceway, here we go. Knoxville, Iowa's sprint car capital of the world, of course, with the Brian Clausen Sweet Tire out of turn number 2. Now hosting the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series, replacing Eldora Speedway. This place is bad to the bone.
Yeah, this is very unique, very well known, and it's a heck of a place to go, a heck of a place to see. This town rallies around this racetrack like almost no other. You know, I relate it to Port Royal, to be a little biased to my neck of the woods back home, but it's flat, it's long, it's just big sweeping turns, and it works in pretty interestingly. So kind of momentum based, it's going to fit into the favor of the big block guys really well, and by the end of the night, I definitely think the cream rises to the top at Knoxville.
I think there's certainly reason to agree with that as we roll into our qualifying session already here this evening. So things moving along nicely and quickly. Here's Brett Rolls on a qualifying run. These lap times, they should be somewhere right in the nature of 20 seconds, thereabouts. Give or take a couple of tenths, north or south, I think, of that number. But right around 20 seconds is what we're looking for. Took some laps earlier today, and I was coming in a little bit slower than that. So I think pick up a few tenths where you should see these guys in qualifying. Coming around to complete lap number 1, it looks like, for Brett Rolls. Where does he go? First lap out. The number 17R is going to place not quite top of the board. 6th of 9 so far. The times keep rolling in.
Yeah, so right now you got Michael Hackett up at the top of the board. Kyle went very fast as well. There you see Michael Hackett. He's usually in orange and purple, so now black and white for the evening in that number 84. And you're watching Gavin Isley, a guy who's very used to running that line, the bottom side of the racetrack, coming out of the corner. We'll see if he can jump himself up further in the standings. Brett Haas moves to second place as well, but that 84H still holding the top spot.
Here's Brandon Plank, 3rd so far in this qualifying session. Dennis Cardinal has been another driver that's been so fast in qualifying. We'll see how the number 31 checks in. Some other cars heading out there for their first time. Here's Hunter Hulberg in the 99 Double H, or Wild Bill. A couple of names for him there. Travis Miller into 18th right now. 18th spot for Travis Miller. Really?
That's rather surprising. We don't know Travis as one of those guys who has to rally up through the field. He's usually pretty darn good in qualifying. Like this guy, Scott Fritz, has been very good in qualifying so
Fifth
far
right
this
there.
season. He goes 5th right there. He's one of those guys who, so far this season, has worked very well with the tackier racetracks, so he kind of has faded off by the end of those feature events we've seen so far. That might play into tonight. This track's going to get slicked off. But Fritz right now, he's holding on to 5th on the board in qualifying, and maybe you can find something for the feature in that 48 machine.
Mads Ritter also taking extra laps, as we know him to do. A couple of others doing so as well. Pat Reiser, who we've not seen much of. He's blinking, it looks like. But, oh, look at that, number 33. Pat Reiser back in the field. Good to see him around.
Yeah, they actually hosted a little practice session last night that I got a quick glimpse of. I saw this last night, and I had about the same reaction that you did just now about the livery on this 33 machine. It looks good. And Patrick Reiser, we've seen him race with this series before. This is his first outing in this season of Big Block Modified Racing. There's Dennis Cardinal in the 31, new to the series this season, has made a pretty good show of things. He's not doing super well on the board with qualifying ending here, but hey, there's plenty of racing left tonight, and we get to start off with heat number 1 right now, Andrew.
That we will. 9 cars in this first heat. We'll see who they are. Starting on pole, the 84H of Michael Hackett, tied to the points with the other 84 car. He will start from pole in heat number 1. Starting to his outside, flip the number around. You've got a 48. Scott Fritz, fast in qualifying, will start from the 2nd spot in heat 1. Alan Slight will start from 3rd in this heat. Matt DeRitter to his outside, starting in the 5th spot in heat number 1. It is the thriller Travis Miller. Dean Reynolds will roll off from the 6th position, starting 7th in heat number 1, none other than Mike Wenner with the big show, Randy Giroux, to his outside. And bringing up the rear, you can already see him in that blue number 88, the Beef. Corby Daniels brings up caboose in heat number 1.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting to watch off the front end. I think Tyler Joshimbowski and obviously Scott Fritz are the two guys who've really been successful so far this season with tackier racetracks. Alan Slight's up there. I'm going to watch Randy Giroux. I can't imagine what's going through the Big Show's head this far into the season, having not made a feature event. He's one of only 2 drivers so far to do so, the other being Matthew Beauvais, and it's just kind of out of form from what we would have expected out of Randy. This is a track I think will do him favors. I think this is going to be a track he likes. He's got to get into that top 4 to go straight into tonight's feature event, but there's consolations too, so even if he gets 5th, he has a chance, and I think he has a pretty good chance tonight.
We'll see how it all works out for the number 24, originally out of Canada, now a student at UNOH. Randy Giroux going to try and make his way into this feature event this evening. A field of 9 for heat number 1. We should expect about the same for the subsequent heats. We're about to get the party started this evening at the Knoxville Raceway in Knoxville, Iowa. The sprint car capital of the world, rumbling this evening on iRacing with the sound of Big Block Modifieds, waiting on the first green flag of the night. Green flag's out, Hackett's off and away. Alan Slight, the checkup down low. He's going to check way up at really not helping the 2 car. Down to turn number 3. Fritz on the outside. Now going to dig down low. Here comes DeRitter to the line. It's going to be Hackett the first lap, but a side-by-side battle for 2nd.
Yeah, this track is so tacky right now. Just getting to the bottom side is going to help you. You see DeRitter going to the inside of Fritz, and it looks like Fritz is just stuck out to dry. You can maybe get a little bit of momentum off the top. It actually looks like Travis Miller makes the top work, at least out of turn 2. And again, here we'll see if he can catch again up to Alan Slight as they come past the line again. DeRitter has cleared Fritz, and Slight's going to take it to him next in turns 1 and 2.
Watching the whole field work around here. That 48 car headed the wrong way, and we talked a little bit earlier about some stats in the series, Joe, before we even came on the air, and Scott Fritz was a name that he always seems to start the night really, really well, but tends to kind of taper off later on. I really hope this is a reversal. I hope, if anything, he can start a little bit further down the order in the heat and kind of work his way up, because he really deserves a good run.
Yeah, Scott Fritz has been very good early in the event so far. He's running third right now. This is actually a little uncharacteristic of him only running in third in his heat race, but that's a transfer spot. It'll put him a little further back, like you said. And hey, maybe this car's set up a little better for when the track gets slick. Maybe that's why he's not got the speed right now. Michael Hackett does.
Well, he's trailing DeRitter. This would be for second if he can get there. But hey, maybe he needs that uncharacteristic start in the heat race. So again, turn things around later on in the day. Hopefully he's got a good day on the way. As Travis Miller is currently, well, he's got to get to Alan Slight in these next 2 laps. He wants to make it straight into the feature. Of course, 4 cars move on from each BRP iRacing Series heat. And Alan Slight is currently in that 4th transfer spot. Miller's got to get there 2 laps to do it.
Yeah, and Travis Miller right now, he's looking for a couple of those extra bonus points too. If he can get a little further up, he can try to help his championship effort get around Slight, but they come down the back straightaway again, and it's pretty much a train race at this point. They're going to come to the white flag presented by Tucson Sound Art. Alan Slight's going to hold that final transfer position as they cross the line this time, and Travis is going to have to pull something pretty good off if he wants to make a run for that spot.
We'll see what he can do this final lap around. The thriller Travis Miller, he's thrilled to forward. We see a dive bomb in turn 3. No, nowhere near making it happen. Can he do so around the top side? Maybe. No, just too much grip on the racetrack into the checkers. It's going to be Hackett, DeRitter, Fritz, and Slight moving straight on into our feature event. Miller, Wenner, Giroux, Daniels, and Reynolds will have to go on through the consies.
And that's kind of interesting to see, you know, Giroux, Miller in the consolation race, but hey, heat race number 2, and we'll see who else we can get straight into this feature tonight, and what other big names might be going through a B or C main even. You start on the front row. The pole sitter is going to be the 55 of Brett Haas. Did very well last time, first podium of the season. Maybe tonight going for a little better. Jeff Sharp in the 28 is going to start on his outside in second. Row number 2 starts off on the inside with one of those 88 cars. That's Tyler Joshambowski, the red and yellow numbered machine, with Dan Sider in the 77 to his outside. In row number 3, you got Garrett Zacharias, 2-time winner this season already, and on his outside is going to be Dean Meitzler in the 49, looking to move up. On the final row of heat race number 2, you got David DiPetro in the 68 and the 73 of Double D Dylan Davidson. 2 guys who haven't been in every single event, but Dylan's definitely looking to turn things around tonight and get a good performance out of that machine.
8 cars, the field for heat number 2. That tells me the next couple of heats afterwards will also feature just 8 cars. So a little bit less than we had at the start of the season where we had 10, but 1 or 2 car difference. I think that's a pretty solid way to keep going through this series. The biggest season ever that I think the BRP iRacing series has had, and it's all thanks to a lot of support from a lot of great people. Bickner Racing Products, MDR Designs, Jam Performance, Lindy, and Creative Turnings, and the Super Dirt Car Series. 8 cars ready to go for heat number 2. And we'll turn things over to the sights and sounds of the iRacing.com sim. Brett Haas on pole for this second heat. We'll see when he gets this show on the road out of turn number 4. The pace truck is in, and we'll turn things over to these guys. Lap number 1, you're going to go the way easily of Brett Haas. Big gap back to Joshambowski. The battle for the transfer. Well, it's these 3 guys with the gap. And oh, Zacharias into Joshambowski. There goes Sider around the top. Maybe not. He's got contact. He falls back to 5th.
Joshambowski and Sider got into each other right there. Zacharias is very fast in that 71 machine. He's holding on to the final transfer. Oh, they're getting into it behind. DiPetro gets shoved off the racetrack and goes all the way to 8th place in this running order. Zacharias, Sider, Double D, they're all running behind Tyler Joshambowski as he holds on to 3rd place. They come down the backstretch, and look how much faster that 71 can get into the corner. He moves up a little higher on the track. It's tackier up there. Maybe he can get a little momentum down the front straightaway.
Watching these guys continue to battle, the 71 and the 77 going at it at turn number 2. Zacharias still with that company from Sider. Sider's had a pretty solid season, missed a feature, maybe 2, but has had a really, really solid 2021 so far, at least here in the fall and winter. If he can get by 2-time winner Garrett Zacharias for a position straight into the feature, I think that'd be pretty big.
Yeah, that's pretty big for Dan Sider and for Garrett Zacharias, but look at Sider. He is the fastest car on the racetrack right now. You saw him go purple a few laps ago, and he gets that pass in, a little slide up the racetrack for good measure. Double D almost got into the 71 there as they come off the turn. They stay side by side. 3 laps to go at the line, and this is the race for the transfer. Contact made in turn number 1. Zacharias takes it back.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think that was too early for Dan Sider. I think he needed to wait a little bit longer, but now he knows contact is on the table, throws it at turn number 3. Oh, gets into a little bit, but checks up. Good gentlemanly move there from Dan Sider, but now, again, he knows contact is on the table, and I think he might be a little more privy to give him a right rear.
Yeah, Sider definitely going to have the elbows out a little further. Zacharias hit the wall down the back straightaway. That's going to give him an opportunity. He goes to the bottom, slides up through the slick stuff, right to the rear end of the 71, doesn't get the pass in. They come past the line here. This is the white flag presented by Tucson Sound Art. 2 more corners after this. Sider on the inside, Zacharias on the outside as they thunder down the backstretch.
Here we go, last chance for each of these drivers to make it into the feature. Some checking up in front, but nothing too crazy. And Dan Sider will not make it. It's Brett Haas, then Jeff Sharp, Tyler Joshambowski, and Garrett Zacharias driving across the line in our top 4 positions in heat number 2. So close for Dan Sider. Man, if only that's one of those what could have been kinds of moments where he was just so close to making it in, yet also so far. That's really one of those moments that any driver wishes they could get back sometimes here. This is the Knoxville Raceway heat number 3 coming at you for the BRP iRacing Series. Brandon Blank points leader on pole for this one. Kyle Wendt will start second. Starting third in this heat, it's Tana Correa in the number 11. The wild child, as they call him, Brett Fisher on his outside. Joe Matthews will start from the 5th spot in this heat. Brett Rolls on the outside. Then the back row of this heat will be Dennis Cardinal and Brian Berger. 8 cars in total. And boy, this is shaping up to be a fun one.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be interesting with Brett Rowles and Dennis Cardinal so far back in the starting order. Brian Berger's making his reappearance. He wasn't here for 1 or 2 races in the past. Brandon Plank starting right up front. And I'll tell you, what Brandon can do right now is he can capitalize on Miller and Zacharias having less than ideal ending positions in these last 2 heat races, get some bonus points with a nice run here, maybe even win the heat race and set himself up with a good starting position, get himself out of trouble early in the feature event. He's in a really good spot, and it's going to be interesting to see what he can do. But like you said, there's a lot of other really great drivers in this field that he's going to have to watch out for because this track's getting a little slicked off, and it's going to get racier and racier as time comes on.
And it's kind of a good reminder. These heats, they do pay points. Each heat winner gets 4 points. Second place in each heat gets 3. So on down the line. Third gets 2, and fourth gets 1. So the top 4, each of the transferees do get points for their heat racing efforts, and that ends up being big when it comes down to figuring out the point standings each night and figuring out the champion at the end of the season. Coming to the green flag once again, we'll turn things back over to Barty the Flagman and the rest of the BRP iRacing Series field. Maybe a little contact that first lap with Brett Rolls and Joe Matthews and the like across the line for lap number 1. It is all Brandon Plank out front, but there's a really solid transfer spot battle here, Joe.
Joe Matthews, like that first name, he's holding on to Brett Rowles right now. Good start for the 17, but Joe Matthews, he's looking to stick with a pretty solid start to this season. He's got a couple top 10s to his name. Love to get straight into this one. Brett Rowles holding on to that transfer. And Kyle Wendt now is coming into the picture in the wrong direction. Down the inside goes Brett Rowles. Joe Matthews trying to follow. Dennis Cardinal is right there behind. Oh, contact in turn 3. Wendt and Matthews are still making contact out of the corner, and now they're going to go 3 wide down the front stretch.
Dennis Cardinal drives underneath Joe Matthews, going to take that spot away. He's up to 5th now. Fantastic move from the 31, but here comes Joe back on the top side. Kyle Wendt drops anchor on the bottom. Brett Fisher around the outside of the 31. This is a fantastic battle down to turn number 3. Up the racetrack again goes Matthews. More contact. Wendt gets into him, pushes him up in the wall, and Matthews is flipping. Brett Fisher with him. Is that going to draw a yellow?
Brett Fisher was absolutely unaccounted for right there, but he got into the picture right at the wrong time. This race still going on. Kyle Wendt and Dennis Cardinal, they are the transfer. Does not look like we're getting that yellow flag. Cardinal tries to run to the bottom, get a little bit of grip off the bottom side. Man, that was close. Kyle Wendt holding on to that position. They come out of turn number 2 this time with Cardinal looking to the inside. He's trying to diamond off the turn, and it worked a little bit in turn 2. We'll see what he can get. Maybe try a slider. Wendt holds the top well, gets that momentum out front, and Cardinal's going to see if he can pull it off again. Doesn't get it on the front stretch.
Not going to happen that time. This is into turn 1. 2 laps to go for each of these drivers. Fantastic battle up front as well. Here are Brandon Plank and Tanner Correa, the Wild Child, chasing down the 77X. Coming to the white flag, presented by Tucson Sound Art for each of these drivers.
Tanner Correa is holding on strong, and that's a name that I think we haven't talked about enough this season. He's been very strong with his runs so far. He's holding on well. He'll get a transfer as long as he stays in second. That's the battle for the transfer. Went up the track, Cardinal down the inside. Last set of corners, last opportunity for that 31 car.
He tries the outside, now going to go down low, cut off turn 4, and make a run to the line, but it's not enough. Kyle Wendt gets the final transfer spot over Dennis Cardinal. What a drive by the 16.
That was very well done by Kyle Wendt. He started on the outside of the front row, and he's been pretty solid so far this season, so that will align with his works, and he will get straight into that feature, which is what he wanted out of that heat race. We move into heat race number 4. We get 4 more going straight to the feature. We start on the inside of the front row. Catfish, Gavin Isley in the 18, starting to the inside of Jamie Porter in the 45. 2 strong names to watch out for. Go back to row number 2. You got Andrew Clark on the inside in 3rd place. Strong driver so far this season in his first effort with the BRP iRacing Series. Ryan Beagle going to start to his outside in the 84. Then you go to row number 3. You got Adam Hilton in the 3 on the inside and Pat Reiser in the 33. Whole bunch of 3s going on in this one. And the final full row on this grid, Richard Pereira in the 96 and shotgun on the field. Double H in the 99, Hunter Holberg, the red machine, at the tail end of this field. And Andrew, Heat 3 was very exciting, but I think Heat 4 is shaping up to be just as much, if not more so, with this field of drivers.
And Joe, we were talking about some stats earlier on in the evening before we went live for this broadcast. And one question I asked you, who do you think was the one driver? There's 9 drivers that have completed all laps so far this season. They've not finished a lap down at all yet. They haven't missed a feature or anything like that. They've completed all feature laps, 9 of them. There is one driver in 10th in that list that is completed all laps but 1. Who do you think that is? Because we never really finished that up, you and I.
Oh,
he's in this heat.
He's in this heat. It's not Hilton. It's not Holberg. It's not Reiser. Is it?
It is the 96.
It's Pereira.
Pereira. So
wow.
He's got to come from about the rear of the field here in this heat. But Richie Pereira has driven a fantastic season so far. This could be the start to some more good things. We're waiting on the green flag for our race leaders at a turn number 4. Barney waves that green flag. Wait for it. He's going to wave it. Now he's waving it. There we go. Green flag in Heat 4. Side by side. Isley inside. Porter outside. Right on the bottom there is Clark as well. Beagle is in it, and they're all at the racetrack. Porter's going to go 3 wide. Clark pushes Beagle into Porter, and they're crashing across the line.
Oh, Beagle upside down in the corner. Reiser way up the track. 84 gets woed down. I think we're going to stay on it. We got a battle for the lead. Jamie Porter down the inside of Isley. Right behind him, out there is Andrew Clark. And there's Adam Hilton on the inside. They're all in a big pack at the front end as Gavin Isley still leads the way. Adam Hilton goes fastest on the inside. And look, there he is. Richie's right there in 5th.
That is Richard Pereira in that number 96, waiting on just one more opportunity from these guys. The way they're racing, it's going to come. Porter has missed the turn 3 spot against the line each and every time he's gone into that corner, always washing up, it seems, right now. He's going to wash up again right there in the center of 1 and 2, right up to the side of Gavin Isley. That's dangerous. If those two make contact, we could have the entire top 4 getting wiped out here soon. Again, misses the bottom. This time, Hilton with him gets into Clark, and Isley is going to drive underneath the 45.
Man, and one thing that made that super dangerous was Andrew Clark being so close. It looked like the 98 kind of backed it off a little bit. A little slide job action going on the front end. Isley got the lead. Porter goes to the inside. Hilton's trying to double duke him into turn number 3. Porter.
Whoa!
Oh, contact.
Isley up the track, riding the wall. He's out of this now. He's completely out of this battle. But that opens the door for Hunter Holberg and Pat Reiser. Not Pat Reiser. Richard Pereira. There we go, the 96. I mean, Pat Reiser is now in the battle, and here we go for the lead. Hilton on the inside. They're coming to 2 to go.
2 laps at the stripe. Hilton and Porter side by side. Richie Pereira has inherited himself a spot in the transfers. Right now, it looks like Clark is going at it with Hunter Holberg for that transfer spot. 99 on the outside, 98 on the inside. Andrew Clark goes to see if he can slide the corner. He almost ran into Pereira. Holberg pulled the momentum on the top side. Reiser's trying to go with him. White flag by Tucson Sound Art. One more time around, one more shot as Clark goes into the bottom on the inside of turn number 1.
Two big battles to watch here for the big blocks as the 45 is down to the inside. Porter going to try and take that heat win, but here comes Clark into Holberg a little bit. Is Hunter Holberg going to make this feature across the line? The answer is yes! Hunter Holberg, Wild Bill, has made the feature at Knoxville.
That was a stellar run out of that corner, man. Clark and Holberg bang into the line, and what a great way to end off the heat races for the night. That was hectic and exciting. What a time.
What a time to be alive, certainly. That was some good stuff. That was really good stuff there in heat number 4. Knoxville is racy this evening. Let's see who we've got for our first consolation race on pole. It is going to be the thriller Travis Miller. Not usually in these kinds of positions, but guess who's right there with him? Dennis Cardinal, somebody who's been oh so fast, especially in time trials this season. Didn't quite set pole again, didn't quite start up where he needed to in his heat race, and is going to have to go through the consies. 5 of these drivers will move on. Let's see some more of the field. Starting in 3rd, it's Mike Wenner in the number 23. Brian Berger will kick things off from 4th. The big show, Randy Giroux, is going to start in our final transfer spot. Joe Matthews will start 6th. Can Randy Giroux finally make a feature this season? We'll find out, because just behind him, you've got Corby Daniels and Brett Fisher. I don't know how this is going to go for any of these 8 guys. To think that any of them won't make this race is kind of staggering almost.
Yeah, this is a really great group of drivers. 8 excellent guys. And I mean, you know, we talk about Randy Giroux having some... Whoa!
Dennis Cardinal, no!
That looks like it's a hardware problem. That might have been something wrong with his steering wheel. The car just did the same thing the whole way into the corner, just a little turn and the same amount of gas. It looked like that might be a technical issue for the number 31. That might take him out of contention for this. And what a tough break for that team. So good so far this season. And now starting from the pit lane, if starting at all in this consolation.
Gonna make things a lot easier, though, on the rest of these guys. Now only 2 of them will get cut from this consolation race. Waiting on the green flag signal from atop the flag stand. Barney has it displayed, waiting on him to wave that arm. Green flag is out and Consi won. There was already some contact, and Fisher and Matthews are well behind these guys. Down to turn 3 will go.
Wenner on the inside, Travis Miller holding on to the outside and leading the way as they come out of the final set of corners for the first time past the line. Miller, Wenner, Giroux, Berger, and Daniels, that's your transfer group. They're all under a blanket here as they come out of turn number 2. A little bit of a gap back to Joe Matthews and Brett Fisher. They're going to try to have to catch up. Randy Giroux runs the inside. Everybody else is kind of moving up the racetrack. Now Corby Daniels, he stays low, keeps me out. And they come back again. Daniels actually made the bottom work really, really well through 3 and 4.
I think the bottom is the place to go if you can pedal it still, but the top side has a little more grip, a little more of that moist dirt as we're working the groove up the racetrack throughout these preliminary races. Berger down low. He's lost 4th, but still in a transfer for the moment. You gotta wonder, can Joe Matthews get there? Can Brett Fisher maybe get there? Can they spoil the party for the 60 car?
Well, this would be a tough order, but they seem to be making the call. Joe Matthews has been very strong this season. Brett Fisher has had a ton of bad luck, and he's looking to turn that around here at Knoxville tonight. He's got to pass Joe and Brian Berger if he wants to get into this show. They're just coming to halfway, and he just gets into the wall out of turn number 4, but there's time for this 30 machine, and that's what he needs.
Out of turn number 2, lap 5 of 10 will come and take cross flags in Consi 1, this time by still Berger working down low. Here comes Matthews. Finally going to have a fair challenge to the outside of Brian Berger. Maybe gets the wall a little bit. Not going to happen just yet.
Brian Berger has actually got actually I can't say that. What I should say is that Joe Matthews and Brett Fisher have caught up to the group. They are fast enough right now to get back up into this top 5. So that should work out for them in the long run. Just got to be patient and be smart with their cars. See Joe Matthews all over the 60 machine as it come down the front stretch again, and he goes to the top side. They pull side by side, and Joe Matthews has definitely given Berger a run for his money, and he might take that transfer down the back straightaway.
Matthews up top, Berger down low. The purple and white number 60 trying to pedal that bottom side. Maybe it's not as good as we thought. Maybe it's a little too slicked off at this point. Matthews going to have the pull into 1. 3 laps to go that time by. Daniels is catching Giroux up ahead. They are both in, though. I don't think they want to start battling too heavily. I think if you're Corby Daniels, just sit on your hands a little bit. Wait on this opportunity to make it into the feature. Now Fisher around Berger. 2 laps to go.
Yeah, you say that about Corby Daniels and Giroux being careful here, but Joe Matthews and Brett Fisher are very fast, and they're catching up quickly. Giroux's going to try to power an over-under move on the beef down the back straightaway. They are falling into the grasp of Joe Matthews.
Oh, there he is! No!
Contact, big contact. They all stay stacked up. Giroux stays in his spot. Daniels now fighting with Joe Matthews as they get the white flag presented by Tucson Sound Art.
That's why I doubted these guys battling. I just wasn't so sure about it. That almost ruined things for Andy Giroux. Might yet ruin things for Corby Daniels. Is anything going to open up? Matthews down low. Here comes Brian Berger. Can he drive back around the outside? No. Matthews up the racetrack. Here comes, oh my goodness, Brent Fisher's going to make the feature. You're kidding.
Wow. Wow. A little close for comfort through 3 and 4. Things get a little squirrely, and that's how you make a feature, Brett Fisher. Just an opportune luck move for that 30 machine. And that's such a tough break for Berger, too. He was getting so strong on with Joe Matthews. Unbelievable.
That's why I just wasn't so sure about it. That was interesting. But we've got a grid of 9 drivers for Consi number 2. Joe, here's our front row.
Yeah, we'll get to start him off on the inside. Dan Sider in that 77. We know he was fast before. Can he stay that fast in this constellation? He got Andrew Clark on his outside, a very strong competitor for this Consi. Starting in row number 2 on the inside, Double D, Dylan Davidson making his reappearance in the series. He was our 3rd in our 2nd constellation of the night. Patrick Reiser with his first start of the season in the 33, going from P4. P5 on the grid, Dean Meisler in the 49. He's the last transfer off of the green flag. Gavin Isley in the 18 looking to make that change as he is the first one on the outside looking in from the starting grid. Roll it back to row number 4 on the inside. You got David DiPetro, the driver out of New York, in the 68 machine, and his outside is going to be Ryan Beagle in the 84. And rounding out your field in the number 79, black and purple, that's Dean Reynolds, and he has been one of those guys we've watched in consolations. He has had some luck, he's had some misfortune, but he's always a good show in a consolation event.
And that 79R has certainly ruffled some feathers, made some ripples in the water here in the BRP iRacing series. It's a matter of time before he gets a solid feature result as well. These guys rolling down the backstretch for the final time before they get their Consi underway, their final chance to make it into tonight's feature. Gotta wonder, can Dean Meisler get some of that magic from last season, get back up there and fight for this win? We will find out here momentarily. Coming to the green flag, Barney holding that green flag, waiting on the signal. Green flag is out in Consi 2. Way up the racetrack for Andrew Clark. He reels things back in, keeps the race lead, but man, open the door.
Yeah, definitely is. He's still got the lead right now, so he's holding on pretty nice. Dan Sider might be smart here. I think Dan Sider's a very smart driver, and this might be an opportune moment for him to just kind of stay in line and avoid getting spots lost. He's got Dylan Davidson looking to the inside. Pat Reiser, Dean Meisler, they are almost the same car at this point going through 3 and 4. They are running so close to each other, and they are going just on the inside of the cusp to make it into the feature. Dean Meisler contact, and Reiser gets moved up the track, and look who takes that opportune time. That's Ryan Beagle moving up in the 84.
Beagle making moves, the 84 right to the bottom side, trying to get by Meisler, and Reiser is blinking in front of these guys. He gets clear of the 49, moves up to that top lane. Solid move there from Beagle. Now Isley going to have to work on the number 49 of Meisler all over again.
Things are getting a little hectic in the mid-pack right now. The track is slicked off a lot, and it's interesting to see the way these guys are running. You got guys like Davidson, who's been here and been not. Reiser's making his first appearance. Dean Meitzler's been here. Ryan Beagle's been here every race. Andrew Clark is running very well at the front end, but all these guys are getting things shook up, getting a little bit more used to being around all of each other again, and in the midst of it, trying to make it into the 60-lap feature event tonight.
Is Gavin Isley really going to miss this feature? When we talk about him in contention for race wins, he's going to try and go by Meitzler there. Not quite by him yet. This is somebody we're so used to seeing contend for wins, if not championships, and right now he's sitting 8th in this consolation race. He needs to get to 5th to make it in.
Yeah, this is not looking super great for him, but it is looking pretty darn good for Pat Reiser. Oh my, that was a haymaker. Wow, he took so much momentum into turn number 1, slides up the racetrack, falls back into the stretches of Dean Reynolds, as that's going to let Ryan Beagle go back around him. But that would be a pretty great way to start off your run in this season for Pat Reiser. He's on the last spot to transfer. Right now, he's got a ton of pressure from Dean Reynolds and Dean Meitzler, even 2 Deans.
Side by side, Reiser and Reynolds. Reynolds, to make the race, has got to get by Reiser right here. Low into 3. I just don't know if that bottom side is going to pay off for him. He's going to have to throw a slider again right to the side of the 33. Does he go for it here? A little up the racetrack, no slide job yet. That was 2 to go.
They're going to have a lap and a half past this time, Pat. Reiser on the outside. Dean Reynolds just a little bit of a nose as they come through 3 and 4. White flag presented by Tucson Sound Art going to come out. Up at the front, Andrew Clark has no pressure. Run it clean. The battle for the transfer is heating up more and more by the turn.
He's got him.
Reiser, yeah, that time Pat Reiser fell backwards.
Reynolds has finally got him. Dean Reynolds with a spot to make the feature. No contest behind. And it is going to go the way of Dean Reynolds across the line. Clark wins it, then Sider, Beagle. Reynolds gets 4th. Okay, Dylan Davidson should still get 3rd. It looks like he blinked out across the line. But Davidson was in there. That was very, very interesting. Very, very confusing him on the line. But yes, Reynolds was your final transferee through all of that hubbub. And we've got a field of 26. What do you say we meet this top 10? Joe will hand things over.
Oh boy, we get to introduce you to your pole sitter. Starting on the inside, usually in orange and purple, now he's in black and white. Straight jacket, Michael Hackett with the pole. Brett Haas starting to his outside in the 55, looking for another great podium effort after last time. Row number 2, Brandon Plank on the inside, 2 wins this season already, looking for number 3. Jamie Porter on the outside, usually good for a win or 2 in a season, looking for his first this season. Starting in 5th, on the inside, Matt DeRitter, the 03, excellent scheme, looking to put it in victory lane and take more pictures of it. Jeff Sharp to his outside, best performance he's had in a while for a starting position. Tanner Correa in 7th on the grid. Adam Hilton to his outside in 8th in row number 4. You go back to row number 5, start on the inside with Scott Fritz out of Ohio, and Tyler Joshimbowski in that 88 team.
Starting in the 11th position, first driver out of the top 10, it's the 17R. Of Brent Rolls in that orange and blue, number 17. That is Richard Pereira. How about that? He is going to make this feature in a solid starting spot. Starts from 12th in this feature event at Knoxville. Starting 13th, it's Alan Slight in the 2. Then Garrett Zacharias, 2-time winner on the season at, I want to say, it was Lernerville and Limeland. Got to test myself there. Starting 15th this evening, though, it is Kyle Wendt to the 16. Double H, Hunter Holberg from 16th. Starting 17th, first of our Consi drivers. Travis Miller on the inside of Andrew Clark. Starting 19th, it's Mike Winter. On his outside, it's Dan Sider.
You roll back to 21st on the grid. You've got the big show Randy Giroux in his first feature. Finally. Indeed, finally. Dylan Davidson to his outside in the 73 machine. Go back one more row to 23rd. He got the beef, Corby Daniels. He made it in just barely. Brian Beagle to his outside as well. And on the final row of the grid, you've got the number 30 of Brett Fisher and the 079 of Dean Reynolds. What a grid. And hey, we're getting ready to go green flag racing.
That we are. We're going to head things down into turns 3 and 4 for the final time before feature racing from Knoxville, Iowa. Waiting on the signal for all 26 of them. Down to the start-finish line. Green flag is out. 50 laps underway. Straight jacket Michael Hackett with the lead across the line. He leads lap 1.
Brett Haas holding on very strong in second, and it looks like Brandon Plank's making some noise on the bottom side. It's tacky down there. Whoa, Brett Haas gets way high, maybe clipped the wall a little bit at 2. Stays in line. He may fall back to 3rd, but he's right there on the back of that 84H.
A lot of great battles already throughout the entirety of the top 10. That's Plank down low. He's going to go for 2nd place. Very torn up racetrack, but he's making it work down there for the moment. Holds on to the spot. He's nosed ahead for 2nd. Porter now looking to the inside.
Jamie Porter isn't exactly a guy we know for being a bottom side ripping driver, but he can make it work when he needs to, and he's doing so right now, just holding on to this top 4 battle. Brandon Plank actually went fastest on the bottom, so it may be an interesting move, and maybe the smart move for Jamie Porter to stay down there is Brett Haas getting a little squirrely off the top. Might be losing a little bit of that grip up there, and it might move to the type of race where you want to start diamonding down to the bottom side again.
The whole field goes on by out of turn 1, and we're crashing Andrew Clark. How about that?
That was a opportune moment to take that static shot there, Andrew. Props to you for that.
Yeah, I love watching these guys go by the speed shot, but not when they're on their side like that. And that was, as mentioned, Andrew Clark with problems. This will be a look at things. Follow the number 98, top side of the 99 on 11, that black and green car. Alan Slight got turned around behind him. They sorted out, but looks like Clark got squeezed into the wall, and Randy Giroux right into the side of him.
Yeah, there's just nothing that Randy Giroux is going to be able to do in that situation. You're coming on with so much momentum and speed, and all of a sudden you got a car checking up in front of you like that. Hopefully not too much damage on that car, like we've been talking about, his first feature event of the season with that 24 machine, and you'll ride on board with him and see just how quickly everything happens. Excellent wreck avoidance, and only if he could have gone 2 for 2 right here.
Yeah. There was a small gap for a moment, but that gap quickly closed, and just read the incident a little bit wrong, I think, unfortunately, right into the side of the number 98, and very, very hard as well.
Yeah, and like we said, tough break. He can rally. We know Randy Giroux is the type of guy who has the adversity, who can get through a situation like this and kind of rise up again, but that does affect your driving. It affects your emotions, and hopefully for Randy, he can keep control of that and take advantage of the rest of the laps left in this race.
Some fantastic partners of the BRP iRacing series, including, of course, Bickner Racing Products, the namesake of the BRP iRacing series, as well as MDR Designs, your one-stop shop for all things graphic design. Find them on Facebook, MDR Designs, helping you look the best you possibly can. Let's not forget Jam Performance. Again, the line we were handed at the beginning of the season, if you know, you know. They're a proud supporter of the BRP iRacing series. Lindy, the largest industrial, medical, and specialty gas supplier in the world. You'll want to head over to lindydirect.com to find your closest location today. Lindy Gas and Equipment Incorporated. Again, lindydirect.com. We'll talk more about the other couple in just a moment. Creative turnings in the Super Dirt Cars series as we get ready to go back green flag racing, the first restart of the night, and Hackett's off and away.
Nice restart off the inside by Michael Hackett, and he goes up to block the outside line. Brett Haas and Brandon Plank are making a nice race out of the second spot. A couple guys going way up the racetrack through 1 and 2, trying to find a little extra grip up there. They run into 3. Porter has Hilton all over the tail of himself, and we'll see if that 45 can hang on, but it seems like he's kind of just straggling on him right there off this restart.
The pistol, Jamie Porter, as we just read on the nose of his car, down to the bottom side. Haas through the middle, threading the needle, gets to the inside of Plank. Now going to try the bottom side of turn 3. Side jump, gets it done. Here comes Plank back to the middle, trying to cross him over. He's got the bottom. And into turn 1, do we see a slider from Plank? Yes, we do. No, maybe not.
He almost did, but it looked like he decided mid-corner he wanted to stay to the bottom. And Brett Haas might have even been expecting that as much as we were up here in the booth. You see that 77 move up top. Brett Haas has been holding on to a very strong run, but from last time to tonight, Jamie Porter right behind that battle as well. But we're used to seeing Brandon Plank up here, and look where he is. He's still on that bottom side, and they're slowly making time on Michael Hackett.
Yeah, but how about this 84 car? 10 laps into this race almost, still holding on to the race lead. Elite Performance Industries on the side of that car. I know that's a new partnership for him. They're a newer iRacing setup shop, and they've been making some waves, certainly, and some waves they are making even in the BRP iRacing series with support of this driver. Contact behind you, see what happens. Oh my, what a catch from Plank.
Yeah, definitely. Good car control right there for the 77 to avoid contact. He gets slid pretty big time from Brett Haas. Tries to cross him over down the front straightaway. It's going to work. Is he going to slide him or is he going to stay low? He stays low. Lets Brett have the top side. Adam Hilton getting into the shot right here. And here we are on board with Tyler Joshimbowski, who's very slowly working his way into this mess with Adam Hilton. These two are going to make this a 5-car battle for second place.
Let's watch this onboard into one. Watch the bouncing these cars do on the ruts right now into the corner. You can see how much they're just bouncing all around these big block mods, and man, they have torn this track to pieces. I think maybe a little bit of track work next time, certainly. We learned that with the NASCAR Camping World Series. We're learning it here again. Oh my goodness. And you can see it as well in the track. How it's looked off the track as it changes along with the bumps.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, even in a sim, that does not feel good. It's going to make you a little uneasy and nervous. There's contact right there from Brett Haas and Adam Hilton. Not sure if Haas saw the 3 down onto the inside, but he goes to the bottom. He actually almost gets up on and over the berm on the bottom side of this racetrack. Maybe it helped him through the corner a little bit, though he's holding on right now. There's a slew of cars behind him. Look at this mess. Jeff Sharp, Tyler Joshimbowski, Matt DeRitter, Richie Pereira, they're all running the top side with Reynolds, Fritz, and more on the bottom. Zacharias is in the mix. This is starting to get a little antsy in the mid-pack. They're holding on to a good race right now, but, you know, this track's slicking off. It's starting to become a driver's racetrack.
Porter slid up and hangs on to third for the moment. Rolls into Sharp, maybe down the front stretch. This is right behind Joshimbowski that we were taking a look at. You can see Scott Fritz in the shot, Garrett Zacharias as well. So a lot going on back here, a lot of great battles. Here's Travis Miller, the Thriller, working on through the field from 17th starting spot, now up into 13th, just continuing to work on through.
Yeah, and there's plenty of time left in this race, but it's tough to say, but it's almost kind of surprising Travis isn't a little further up by now. We were used to seeing the Thriller make quick moves at the start of these races and get up front, but be patient, be smart with this car, especially at Knoxville with all these high speeds and cars doing that sort of stuff with Richie Pereira just kind of moving around the racetrack.
Oh! Yeah, that one was never going to work out. 3 wide, they maybe catch it. They're going to keep on going. You saw it all happen live from the onboard of the Thriller, Travis Miller. He was thrilling into turn 1 through the middle with the 96 and 71. They just squeezed it all up and had some contact. Look at this mess, though. Adam Hilton working around Brett Haas. The 55 starting to slide, and he throws a slider into turn 1. Gets that spot back. Hilton the crossover. Joshimbowski checks up. Rolls gets into him.
Yeah, Joshimbowski just got caught out to dry from Hilton moving down the racetrack, who moves now up the racetrack. Slide Job City right here in Knoxville, Iowa. You got him up to the top side of the track. Adam Hilton pulls back into 4th spot. Brett Haas slowly falling into the grasp of more and more drivers. Joshimbowski looking to be the next. He runs to the inside. Raul's behind him. Haas stays up top. Not much more he can do with it. He's stuck to the top now. Joshimbowski pulls in, slides up, but Haas goes all the way to the wall and holds on to the top line, stays in the top 5 this time past the line, but I don't know how much longer you're going to be able to hold a line like that and stay in that spot.
Certainly, you got to question that. I mean, this is insane watching these guys go at it. Scott Fritz in 8th, bringing up the rear of this little group. Hilton in 4th. So 4th on through 8th. They're all battling right here. Some slide jobs. 3 wide this time into turn number 4. Rolls on the inside. Joshimbowski in the middle. A little bit of contact into 1. Joshimbowski way up the racetrack. Fences Brett Haas, who's going to catch the car, I think, and continue on. But here comes Zacharias, going to make the most of it.
Garrett Zacharias is definitely slowly lurking, and he is able to make that pass pretty easily. Brett Haas lost a lot of momentum with that contact. I wouldn't put any blame for that contact. That was just a lot of guys getting into close quarters with each other. Brett Reynolds, now Brett Haas fell back as a result of it. Tyler Joshimbowski and Scott Fritz is right here as well. That was close down the inside. No mirrors, so we couldn't see him coming. And that's only our second one of the night.
Yeah, really good race so far. Really, really good race. Everything we've ever said about maybe some slower races happening. No, this is fantastic. It looks like it is going to include Andrew Clark again. We'll go back and see if we can find the origin of this. And oh boy, he's going to end up on his lid, it looks like, here in just a couple of moments.
Yes, we'll see what happened. Obviously, not the start to the night that Andrew Clark wanted. Goes around the out. Oh, so he was trying to go around the outside of Richie Pereira on a line that was pretty high up the racetrack, I'd say. I don't think Pereira would have ever expected him to go up that high on the racetrack and try to get around the outside like that.
I've got to agree. That was optimistic at best, I think, just trying to go up there and squeeze between a car and the fence like that. Let's watch this entire lap from Andrew Clark and see if we can kind of watch it all develop. He's behind Alan Slight. New paint scheme there for Slight. I like it. And Pereira's down low. You see the beat up 96. He's got some right side damage. Pereira is going to come up out of turn 4 right there. Get back to the top side. And in a sprint car, maybe, but in big blocks, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, these cars are a little wider than that, and I think I'd give him credit because he went so far up the racetrack to get that grip, and you could see it was working, that he was making time on Pereira. Problem with that is Pereira doesn't have a mirror. He's not going to know, and I definitely don't think he's going to expect the car to try to squeeze through there like that.
Yeah, he cut off the entry to kind of come right back up to the top and center and then drive back off the corner, and I mean, that's classic dirt racing. I can see where Andrew thought there was an opening there on the outside of the corner, but you got to expect that to fill very, very quickly. I mean, the driver's setting his slide. He's going to come up the racetrack a little bit. So, hey, that is racing. That is the epitome of a racing incident, but unfortunately that will just about take Andrew Clark out of the show. Green flag on the way once again. This will be our second restart of the night. After our second yellow of the night, the straight jacket, Michael Hackett, he's still leading.
Great restart for him and for Jamie Porter as they go in through 1 and 2. Looking backwards, we're riding along. You can see Plank and Porter side by side. Hackett stays kind of in the middle as he's watching Porter slide up the racetrack. Well, he's not, but we are. Slide up the racetrack through 3 and 4. They come back to the line again, getting close to halfway into this event. Michael Hackett now has a ton of pressure from Porter and Plank down his inside.
The closest we've seen for the top 3 all race, 3 wide, down the backstretch. Porter to the inside, slider gets in front of Hackett's going to have that spot, but can Hackett crossing back up through the middle? No, Jamie Porter has the race lead at Knoxville.
Porter jumps to the bottom side, might have covered Brandon Plank. He might have not have expected that. Look who's in 4th. Look who's coming along. This is consistent with every race so far this season. Brett Rouse is making time. He's in 4th, and he is lurking. He's the prowler right now. As he's watching this battle go on in front of him, he knows he just has to hit his marks and be patient, wait for those opportunities to come, because the racing that's going on right now, he's going to get a chance in a few laps if he just waits, see if there's some contact, and keeps chugging along on the bottom side.
Yellow flag flies this time. Oh, my goodness. That 71 has seen better days. Garrett Zacharias, the source of this one. And I'd imagine that the number 71 had a little bit of help ending up in this predicament.
That's not a good break at all. 2 wins this season. He's 2 for 4. I mean, that's a 50% winning ratio. That's Maxime Plant last season type levels. But here we watch this replay back. Josh Mbowski way down low with Scott Fritz. They're 3 wide through 4 as they've got Hilton right in front. And yeah, it's all just going to squeeze up right there. That's tough to say. Garrett could have done anything.
Ooh. Wow.
I don't know if Garrett would have been able to do anything about that from the start, but he definitely got put in a bad predicament in turn number 1. That was a couple cars getting into him, and that's probably a couple more cars that have some pretty solid damage as a result of this caution.
Now, if you're Michael Hackett, what do? Led the entire race to that moment there. The caution catches you out, and suddenly you're sinking to 3rd. It's still a great day for him, but, man, you got to be kicking yourself if you're him. Man, that's got to sting.
Yeah, Michael Hackett's been very consistent and strong so far this season. I mean, he won his 3rd heat race of the night, or of the season rather, tonight. And, this is definitely a breakout run in a feature race for him. Hasn't had a performance like this yet this season, but I don't know. He was able to snooker everybody else really well, but Jamie Porter capitalized last time from 3rd on the grid, so maybe Michael Hackett can do a little of that same here on this restart.
Only time's going to tell. You see, he started 1st. The currently position is changing a lot, but he's lined up 3rd for this restart. Man, I hope he can get back up there for his own sake. Such a great start to this evening. It would really be a bummer to see him go down and not win this race after everything at the start of this one. And leading on that longer green flag run, we'll see what these guys can do. Waiting on the green flag, of course. Jamie Porter now with a chance to maybe go on and get his 2nd race win ever in the BRP iRacing series. And Plank wants to make it 3 on the season. Rolls wants to get his 1st. A lot of great stories up front. Green flag back out.
Jamie Porter started them a little earlier than I think everybody was expecting to. Hackett might be able to take advantage of that. Running the bottom side, you can see everybody just charging through 1 and 2. And here they come out of turn number 2. Easy lead right now Jamie Porter goes to the bottom, slides up to the top. I think Hackett's going to have to relieve himself from that run for second, but maybe, just as I say it, he starts to get a little momentum down there.
Hackett looking low. He's certainly still in a battle with Plank, that is for sure, but now starting to definitely fall back. I think before that yellow, he was running the best laps of his life, a chance to regroup, and it's not gone well for him. Lap 28, going to give way to 29 as Rolls is all over the 84.
Brett Reynolds can just wait. He can just pounce when he needs to and make moves. We've seen this already so many times this season, and he's doing more of the same here. We're in the second half of this feature event. We're past halfway. It's time for Brett Reynolds to start making those moves. Here in the middle of the pack, things are getting a little more hectic. There's Travis Miller. We see him working around Mike Wenner and trying to get himself up further. He's gotten into the top 10, running P9. Oh, squeeze him. Wow, that's why they call him the Thriller.
Goes around the outside of Haas, now looking to the inside of Fritz, and he's got the spot for now. Fritz with a little bit of help at the racetrack, and a caution flag flies. This time, it looks like it's the Beef. Corby Daniels in trouble. He's already in the pit lane. Problems for the 88.
It's been a little bit of a tough go of things for Corby Daniels in the feature so far this season. That number 88 has had ups and downs throughout the season so far, but here you see him sort of on his own.
He's way back there.
Yeah, he's alone right now out of turn number 2. So it's going to be interesting to kind of see what happens and causes this yellow, because, you know, usually we see guys get into each other and cause these yellows. No, that's just all on his own. Corby moving too far up the racetrack there, Andrew.
Yeah, that's not what you want to see for Corby Daniels. I wonder what started that for him. What got him out of shape? What lost him all that time on the restart? This will be a look at things, potentially.
So here we're watching here with Corby. He's got a lot of cars around him. I mean, he's not at the tail end of this field. He's got Alan Slight to his inside. Here's the restart off turn 4. So they start pretty well. They go down the front stretch. Slight gives him room. And, oh, this is going to do it.
Yep. That right there turns Dean Reynolds around. I'm surprised that wasn't a yellow at the back end of the field.
Yeah, I would have thought I mean, you have 2 cars backwards in the middle of the corner. The only thing I can think is just that the track's big enough. I mean, we're at a half mile, so maybe the thought was we have enough time for how big this track is to get that sorted out and keep the green flag racing going. But Dean Reynolds and Corby Daniels got caught out, and evidently in the long run, Corby just kind of made a little misstep on his own and brought out the yellow and at the end of it anyway. But getting down to 20 to go here, getting double filed up and ready to get another one of these great restarts underway. We'll see what Jamie Porter and Michael Hackett can do off the bottom side, and maybe what Brett Reynolds can do, luring himself into the top 3.
Fans watching along, certainly pick your driver now. Make your pick for the win now. I think a whole lot's about to change. We're waiting on the green flag for Jamie Porter and Brandon Blank. There they go up on the bars, and quickly, very quickly, Porter, a big launch.
And wow, they are all the way up the racetrack. Brett Reynolds kind of fell into the grasp of Adam Hilton, but he's going to get some momentum, maybe make those moves back. Hilton is strong right now. Hackett is as well, going to the bottom side of Brandon Blank. Can't slide him, but he can push him up the racetrack. Duck back down again. Get a little grip, and he's got it at the line. Yeah, they don't stay too wide. Yeah, they do. They go 3 wide now, maybe for third. Brett Rouse down low. Brett Rouse, contact almost. And they're almost getting into contact right there, and they're almost contact again with Brett Rouse getting right up to Michael Hackett.
Adam Hilton gave a piece of his mind to Brett Rolls just a little bit. Scott Fritz is in all of this. Plank running the top side. Porter starting to walk away from these guys just a little bit. Side by side for second still. Now for third. Plank runs up the side of the 17R. Josh Mbowski falls back. Slider from Miller. He gets that spot. Now he's in the fence. Josh Mbowski hits him. Do they save it? Maybe. Yes.
Jeff Sharp had a little bit of wreck avoidance right there as well. Those guys keep it clean. We've got a great race going on for second, for fourth, for basically everything up here in the top 5. Right now, Brett Rawls going to the inside of Michael Hackett. Scott Fritz in the mix of things. He's got a very solid run going in this feature. Don't count out the 48 just yet.
Look at this racetrack and how slicked off everything is. You can see how shiny the dirt has gotten. What a run for Adam Hilton around the top side, 4 wide at Knoxville. He backs out. Good thought there as, oh, Fritz gets turned sideways into the corner, hangs on to it. Oh, my goodness.
Adam Hilton is thundering off of the top side of the racetrack. Do it again, please. I want to see some excitement right here. That 3.8 all the way up.
Oh,
Look
yellow
at
came
the-
out.
Oh, man, they boofed him right there. They boofed Adam Hilton, and that's Dylan Davidson getting around.
They
on
wanted
the front.
him?
They boofed him.
I'll have to get with our higher ups and see if we're allowed to say that. That's a new one. I've not heard that. That sounds interesting, but problems back here for Double D. We know that much, and he's not the only one involved. I think Dean Reynolds potentially in this as well. We'll watch it at turn 3 here.
They're going all the rest of
Oh,
them.
that was not Dean Reynolds. Well, yeah, it kind of was. Hunter
That was Hunter
Holberg,
Holberg.
Wild Bill. You know, I made a comment to you earlier on. We were looking at point standings, didn't I? For some reason, Hunter Holberg is upside down far too often in these races. I don't know what it is about Wild Bill, but he is certainly more than wild. This is a look at things for Hunter Holberg.
Yeah, I think we're figuring out why they call him Wild. You know, the nicknames do have meaning for these guys. Double H, obviously, but they call him Wild Bill for a reason. Here he's on the outside of Alan Slight. Goes into 3. He just didn't get the corner right. He just didn't get enough of a slide
A lot
going.
like his teammate Corby.
Yeah, that's a good reference. Same thing happened twice. Just not enough slide, and you move up the racetrack too much and then into the wall, and the rest is history for Double H. He goes upside down. A couple guys go underneath him. Dylan Davidson around as well. I guess it was destiny.
Something like that. Yellow flag still displayed. That is a shiny fire suit for the iRacing flagman Barney. That is extremely shiny.
Hey, man, he just wants to look good for the
I guess it does have to reflect at night, doesn't it? It's certainly got to be visible. So I get it. It makes sense, but man, is that shiny. It's lap 36, ladies and gents. We'll come around and get 14 to go, which will be the beginning of lap number 37. So 14 laps left for these drivers. Jamie Porter right there is your race leader. Brett Rolls up to second. Straight Jacket Michael Hackett in third. And Brandon Plank in fourth. Green flag already out. A great restart for Porter. They battle behind.
Man, that was a perfect restart. Hackett to the inside of Rolls. Oh, they were almost 3 wide even in the middle of the corner. Hackett's got the bottom figured out. 84, gonna look for second. Down the backstretch, almost contact into the corner. Adam Hilton goes way to the top side. The rest of them kind of stay in the bottom middle area of the racetrack. Porter making a great run at the top in the yellows. Yeah, we're still going.
Yellow flag is out. I don't think it's Corby Daniels this time. I dare say it's somebody else towards the rear of the field, but the jury's out on that one.
Yeah, they kind of caught me off guard a little bit right there. Going into the corner, they were still racing even though the yellow lights had come on. A little bit of a miscue, but it seems like... Oh, we'll catch a replay and see what happened.
Dan Sider, unfortunately, is involved in all of this. And we'll see it all happen in front of him. Kyle Wenton directly up ahead. Andrew Clark as well. Holberg down low. I think it's going to happen in turn 3. Oh my, Zacharias had troubles. Reynolds had troubles. Clark in it. It's a big one.
Yeah, I mean, that ride on board with Sider, maybe that wasn't the very start of the wreck, but that really embodies how quickly things go wrong in front of you. And I think that's a really important part of these wrecks because you got the field all bunched up off of a recent restart like this, and the amount of cars involved in an accident just multiplies.
Ooh.
There's where it happened. That was the big one right there. Zacharias, I think that was Fritz, Slight, and then Reynolds and the rest of them pile in.
Well, that's how that one gets started anyways. And it halts the field one more time, which is only going to help Jamie Porter at this point. I mean, he's only going to have now 13 laps to defend. You're feeling pretty good right now if you're the 45 car for Beef Esports. You get the preferential restarts, of course, being the race leader, so you get the advantage there. That'll draw Hackett to the inside of Rolls, and we know they'll battle. You've got to be feeling great right now if you're Jamie Porter. Certainly in the catbird seat as we come around and we will take one more slow trip through turns 3 and 4. I'm excited to see what happens on this restart. Rolls kind of pre-starting a little bit, getting a bit of a run up at it, waiting on the signal. Green flag is out.
And we're back to racing. Brett Rolls, he has been in the top 5 every single race so far this season, yet to crack a win.
One
He's
of
got
two
it
drivers.
in good form. right. He's in one of two drivers. Brandon Plank's the other one. He's been in every top 5 so far this season. They aren't anymore. Brandon Plank actually just fell out now to Scott Fritz and Adam Hilton. He's running 3 wide with them, though, so we'll see how long that lasts. But for the moment, Jamie Porter's still holding pretty solid control of this race. They're all over the place in the mid-pack. Top 5 and top 10 right here. They go to 2 lines, but things are getting crazy where they're coming closer and closer to 10 laps to go.
11 to go this time. The 84 and 48 starting to do battle. The 3 gets clear of the 30. How about Brett Fisher in all of this? Where did he come from? He is on the bottom side fighting for 5th and a caution flag again. This is the point. We're going to start to see these guys race with some desperation. The wild child in the background. Pereira was in it. Double D was turned over.
That's a tough break for Richard Pereira. He's been able to make those features, but just hasn't had a ton of luck. Dylan Davidson was on his side. Tanner Correa has had plenty of misfortune so far this season. Was not looking for more of it. We'll catch this replay back and show you just what goes on. And these guys are starting to get antsy on this track right here.
Yeah, they're all looking for something. That time, Pereira makes a move onto the berm, checks up. Correa hits him. And it's kind of just on from there. We'll take one more good look at things back here. It really is just guys racing to try and get everything they can at this point in the race.
Yeah, and I definitely think it builds quicker at the back end than the front when you start counting down. These guys are getting a little bit more desperate, and they get impatient with each other, and that kind of just sums up, a little bit of a miscue from Pereira, but Correa's going full send down through turn 4. And they just pile in after that. Dylan Davidson got a good couple pirouettes in right there. That might be one of the larger number of flips we've seen out of a car in a while for this group of guys. But it's getting antsy at the back end, and I don't know. We're getting the numbers ticking down for how many laps we got left. But I don't know, Andrew. It's kind of started to be one of those deals where we're getting yellows a little more regularly.
And after such a green flag start, now we had a string of a couple of yellows decently spaced apart, and then, drivers are in the back half of the race. They know it's their opportunity pretty much. Opportunities are closing. They only have 50 opportunities to pass, I guess, or 50 times 2 because each end of the racetrack, let's call it 100 as opposed to 200 at Lamaland, for example, where we ran, 100 laps? So I get it. I certainly understand the sense of urgency right now from these drivers. It's unfortunate because it causes crashes, but it's also fortunate because it's exciting to watch. So, hey, we'll see what happens with 10 laps to go. Porter, Rolls, Hackett, Fritz, Hilton, Fisher, your top 6, then Beagle, Plank, Haas, Miller, your top 10. Green flag is back out. Porter with the launch.
Yeah, one person who's definitely been capitalizing on this is J.V. Porter. It's allowed him to control more and more of this race closer to the checkered flag. Brett Rolls, Michael Hackett, they're all over the place, all over him. Adam Hilton, Scott Fritz, Brett Fisher, Brandon Plank. Oh, contact! Couple cars involved. Fisher, and there's one in the wall. More of them piling in. This is going to definitely be a yellow flag.
Yellow flag it is, and then all started up kind of with Brett Fisher. Wow. Garrett Zacharias looks like it's done, but not from this one. A lot just happened. Let's try and unpack it.
Yeah, we got to see it on the screen, fortunately just off of the top corner, but we'll get this replay back here and show you just how this all unfolds. So we're watching Ryan Beagle right here. He's got Travis Miller to his inside. He's got Fritz in front of him with Fisher, Plank. They come through turn 2. Fritz kind of moving up the racetrack. That's where the contact with Fisher is. And Beagle right into him. Nothing they could do. They get locked together. Clark.
Wow.
They just pile in so fast, Andrew. I mean, there's nothing you can do about it. It's a fast-paced racetrack, and everybody's all bunched up together. But
Kyle Wendt came in there like a wrecking ball just a little bit, joining the crash a little bit later on. Here's a look at things for Brett Fisher, and Scott Fritz, kind of how that all goes. And then we're going to watch Brett Haas through all of this, up the racetrack and all over the wall. He continues on without flipping, but man, he hit that wall a ton.
Yeah, I'm not going to believe that there's not some damage to that 55 machine. That definitely, would take you out a little bit. He did a good job of avoiding getting it more involved with the rest of the cars, though, which I think was a really great thing for him because it kept him away from maybe, say, flipping over from wheel-to-wheel contact. But, in the grand scheme of things, you're getting close to the end of this race, and guys are starting to get antsy. You got to do what you got to do, but that 55 is probably not going to be at 100% anymore. So Brett's going to have to definitely work with a little more under the seat and do his best to get another great performance like he had with that top 3 last time out.
There was some question in the chat about, well, mirrors, and if these drivers have them turned on iRacing, obviously it's an option even if the cars don't have them. Gentleman rule, turn them off. We can't control if they do or not, but it is a gentleman rule as we take another restart. Rolls up top, Hackett down low on the EPI 84. Couldn't quite get that second spot, but they'll battle down to turn 3.
The officials decided it was time to go to the single file restart, and in great tune, as you see some really great racing going on right now, Adam Hilton runs to the top side of the racetrack trying to find a way around Straight Jacket and get into the top 3 for the first time this season. Scott Fritz hanging on very well right there. Brandon Plank on the outside of the top 5 for the first time in a while. He moves up to try to maybe get in the way of this guy. We're on board with Travis Miller, who's making up great line time in the middle. Ow, man. Just has to back out of getting squeezed by Hilton and Plank right there.
Yeah, he's been there before. Remember, we were on board for it. So, heads up move there from Travis Miller to back on out. Still trying to find a way through these guys. He's 7th. Plank going to take a look for 5th on the inside of Hilton. Oh, and he gets hit by Miller. Gives him a shot in the keister down low. They all kind of get a little bit sideways, continue on, but Hilton's in the wall.
Hilton had the horses in the back down the front straightaway right there, man. I'll tell you, he gets slid big time by Travis Miller. Over under move. Josh Mbowski's right there too now as Hilton goes to the bottom side. Will he return the favor? They come into turn number 3. Miller stays up top, keeps that momentum along. Man, the track's bumpy on the top side of turns 3 and 4. Plank and Miller all over as Hilton may be a slider this time. No, he's got to stay down low.
5 to go. The bottom is starting to open up again. The top is so worn out, so tough to run. These guys starting to flock back down low, put their left fronts on the berm. Plank hits it that time. Hilton misses the corner a little bit. Wenner as well. Meanwhile, Jamie Porter continues to walk the dog. He's bringing Brett Rolls on a leash, though.
Brett Rolls is trying to hold on as best as he can. He's had such a great season so far. Look at Josh Mbowski and Wenner. They are almost into each other through 1 and 2. They might have even been riding that through that corner connected. There's Hilton still working the top side. Here we check in with our leader, Jamie Porter. He's got Brett Rolls breathing down his sights. 3 to go at the line, and they go down to the bottom up to the top of the racetrack. Rolls has been in this position before, unable to make that final pass and capitalize on a win. Jamie Porter hasn't had a success like this so far this season, looking to turn things around as he's going to have 2 to go at the stripe.
Popsicle sticks. It's not quite a sailboat for Jamie Porter, but he's sailing off and away to a potential race win. Just a couple of more opportunities for Brett Rolls to take a chance here at the 45 car. Jamie Porter, first win in the series ever, was last season in late models at Bristol. Now he's just got to defend by 2/10 for 1 more lap. White flag is out, presented by Tucson Sound Art through 1 and 2. Rolls tries to find something. No grip yet. We'll go down to turns 3 and 4.
Into the turn for the last time. They both duck to the bottom. Rolls trying to stay down there as Porter's going to slide up the racetrack. Turn 4, here they come. They're side by side.
Oh!
Jamie Porter. And look at the run for 3rd. Did Scott Fritz get him? He did. Scott Fritz just barely pulled off that podium spot at the line.
What a finish. Jamie Porter takes a victory at Knoxville. Fritz takes a top 3. I don't think he knows what to do because he's already escaped the car. He's already left the car. I don't think he knows what to do when he gets on the podium.
I don't know if he would have even known he made that pass. They were so close at the line for 3rd place that I'm speechless. That was and that was shaping up for a long time too for Scott Fritz to have a run like that. But he capitalized right at the perfect moment.
This will be the replay with our top 2 first. This is the battle for the race win. Rolls, you see, sent it in there. A little too much berm. I think if he doesn't hit the berm there, he might win this race because the run at a turn 4 was fantastic. Side by side. Oh, my. That was so close. Then, of course, it was dead even almost across the line for the win, and they go flipping. And that might be why Scott Fritz maybe didn't continue on to the podium, but let's go back and look.
Yeah, we'll catch this back again. And like I said, I mean, Scott Fritz had this building for a long time. He hasn't had the performance at the end of a race that he needed. Look at this. There we go past the stripe this time, not the checkered that time. So he runs the middle. Hackett, Miller, and Plank down low. And that's where he's going to get some momentum. Everybody kind of checking up on the bottom side. Coming into turn 3, he's got Hackett right there. He's got an opportunity. He's got the middle line. He can get the momentum, but also keep some grip. And this is it. Wow. I'm not even going to talk over that. And here's where I think this is going to show why he resets the car. He might come down on his lid.
He could have gotten help. He could have got flipped back over, I feel like.
Yeah, but man, you talk about just what an opportune, perfect run for Scott Fritz in the middle of that track. I mean, you know, you talk about the top line, you talk about the bottom line all the way through the race, but the middle comes up. It does come up by the end of a race, so definitely taking advantage of a line that nobody else was running. You can see it on your screen. Nobody else was running that line, and getting that speed, being able to pedal it, and here it is.
Oh! Hang on, we got the technology. Let's run that back, and let's do so in slow motion.
I think they were closer to each other than off of a restart. I mean, they look more staged than the drop of the green flag with this one.
This is out of turn 4. This is coming to the checkers, the 48 and the 84H. And what I really like that we can do is we can slow this, way down, as much as iRacing will let us. And then we have, if I can find it here, a view from the flag stand. The inside might work a little better. This is coming to the checkers. Any day now, they'll get there. Here they come. This is how close these two come across the line. Now, the line isn't painted, but let's assume it's there. That's the margin for third place.
I don't even know how you'd make that out. Thank goodness for technology, because how do you even tell? You know, that, and especially for how fast they're going, how would you even be able, how would you know? You know, that's bizarre. 50 laps and they get that close together at the end. What a run.
That's dead even. That's a fingernail. Yeah. I mean, that's literally as close as you can get. Maybe not a fingernail, might be a slight exaggeration, but a foot, if that, 6 inches. They're pulling about 100 mile an hour right there, a buck across the line. That is really, really, really close for third spot. Scott Fritz with the advantage over the straightjacket Michael Hackett. That's unfortunate for Michael Hackett. Again, much like when he first lost the lead, that has got to be a big pain in his side this evening. I think he's got a lot of moments that he wishes he could have back.
Yeah, but at the same time, you have so many great drivers. You can't make those. You can't have those moments if you want to be successful in this series. I mean, there's just plain and simple so many great drivers. You're in a position where you can't step wrong at all. You have to make the right moves, and they may be guesses the whole way through the night. Unfortunately for Michael Hackett, he had a ton of momentum at the start of the night. By the end, it looked like he maybe fell off a little bit with the slicker track, but just didn't work out for him. But it worked out for Scott Fritz.
That it did. 50 laps, and it came down to literally maybe a shoe width across the line. That's how close things are. In the BRP iRacing series, you see, I think that virtual Casey's might be pretty popular here in just a moment for the celebration for Jamie Porter. We'll be right back with post-race coverage from the Knoxville Raceway and the BRP iRacing series. What a show.
Have you found yourself trying to hide your joy because you're unhappy with your teeth? Your smile is the first feature noticed in an interview, on a date, or in family photos. We want you to be able to shine bright as your best self, and our teeth whitening system is the perfect step toward restoring your confidence.
Sound Art is a product that is a speaker and it's art. We combine it together and we call it Sound Art. What makes it so unique that any picture can be your speaker? Sound Art gives you the high quality sound without the ugly speaker. This isn't a picture with a speaker, the picture is the speaker. Just imagine your wedding picture uploaded onto a canvas and now it's speaking 10,000 tunes. I mean, it's a very cool concept. What we like so much about it that you can take anything that means something very special to you, upload it on the canvas, have it hanging up in your room, your balcony, wherever you want to put it, and now it's a speaker. I mean, how cool is that? It's something that we have that and no one has. No one has this product. It's just a great gift to give anybody. It's just a neat concept. Around here we say, art never sounded so good.
After months of quarantine, we're all interested in how we can become our best self. The team at Permanent Makeup and Cryo is here to help you get the flawless makeup look every day without the extra effort or time. When it comes to your appearance, you deserve the best care that money can buy.
Sound Art introduces an entirely new way to listen to music in your home. By combining the best of two products, a revolutionary high-fidelity, low-profile Bluetooth wireless speaker with beautiful artwork. Select from a library of artwork or upload your own photos to personalize your experience. Sound Art ushers in an era of invisible, beautiful, and amazing sound throughout your home and redefines your entire entertainment system. The need to reclaim your floor space and rid your home of unsightly speaker boxes that need to be bolted to the wall is now a thing of the past. Our canvas is printed on high-quality permalite by Breathing Color. And select from our gallery or upload your own. Standard sizes include 16 by 20 and 18 by 24 canvas wrapped. Custom sizing is available, as well as surround sound options.
After months of quarantine, we're all interested in how we can become our best self. The team at Permanent Makeup and Cryo is here to help you get the flawless makeup look every day without the extra effort or time. When it comes to your appearance, you deserve the best care that money can buy.
Welcome back to the virtual Knoxville Raceway in the virtual Knoxville, Iowa on the iRacing.com Motorsport Simulator. Fantastic racing. That's the easiest way to describe this evening with Jamie Porter, Brett Rolls, and Scott Fritz bringing it home in the top three, but it did not always look that way, Joe. And you've got our winner. It's, again, not quite a sailboat, but dang, it sailed to the front.
Yes, indeed. We're going to get to talk to this guy's pretty successful night. Jamie Porter, this is Joe Donahue with Pit Stop TV. You got a copy?
Yes, I do.
All right, well, Jamie, that car really came into form for you. Maybe not as much in the beginning when the track still had a lot of tackiness in it, but when it got slick, that car was more or less unbeatable.
Yeah, I knew coming in I wasn't going to be too good into the tacky stuff. I didn't practice enough on it, so I was hoping that the track would actually slick off faster than what it did. So I think it was around lap 15 or 20, something like that, when I dove through the bottom and just kind of let it roll up to the top was when I realized I had a good piece there.
Yeah, and you were able to do that, specifically what you just explained, a lot with those restarts. Talk about how those restarts throughout the sort of ending stages of the race enabled you to carry the control that you had over this race all the way to the finish.
Well, the easiest way to put it is when you're in control, it's kind of an advantage, really, because everybody else is guessing, and you know when you're going to fire. Like, you have an idea going into the corner that you have your kind of restart zone that you hit every time. So you like to change it up once in a while, just to kind of mess with the guys a little bit. But other than that, it's kind of, you're the control car, so it's easy.
For sure. And, you know, you talk about that control, you talk about sort of your expectations and all that stuff. You know, when you think about looking back at the beginning of this night, were you confident you could make this work? Were you confident that you had the practice, the car, and everything in line to make this run? And if so, or if not, how does that make you feel about the next race out? Do you feel prepared to continue this momentum, or do you think, you know, you're gonna have to put in some practice to make sure you can keep this run going?
Yeah, no, for sure. We throw out practice races every week, a couple times a week, so that definitely helps. But coming in, I didn't expect to win, that's for sure, but I expected to run at least top 5, maybe top 10. But car just played in my favor. I qualified good tonight and ended up winning the heat, so that gave me a good starting spot. So when you're up front, it's kind of it's definitely a lot easier to stay up there rather than driving through the field.
Well, for sure, Jamie. And hey, whether you expect it or not, win's a win, and well-deserved tonight. Excellent performance for you and the entire 45 team. Tell us who you have to thank. Who do you have to shout out here on your broadcast for helping you get this car into victory lane tonight?
Evergreen Thrift Store, St. Catharines Marina, Miller's Auto Detailing, Beefy Sports for sure, MDR Designs, Harrington Property Maintenance, everybody that puts on these iRacing series, and you guys for throwing up the stream. That looks awesome every week. And then all the boys at the shop, and then the girlfriend for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely, my man. Well, you got a lot of support behind you, and you had a really great run with it. So we'll hope to see a little bit more of that momentum carry forward, and look forward to hopefully seeing more of you in the top 3 throughout the rest of the season. Congratulations.
Thank you. We're gonna try.
Absolutely. So really all you can do at the end of the day is try, and Jamie Porter right here, he says he's going to do the best he can, and I think there's plenty more to come out of that 45 machine, Andrew. But hey, you know who we have, a guy we're going to talk to a lot more this season. There's a lot more to come out of, but I'll hand it over to you, Andrew. You get to introduce him.
And he is now the only driver with a top 5 in each and every race so far. 5 of them. Brett Rawls, the 17R, has been on a roll all season long. How'd it go for you tonight?
Honestly, this race, even though we finished second, I think it's going to leave a bitter taste in our mouths. We definitely had the faster car there at the end of the race. And, just a shame that we couldn't put it in victory lane. Short a couple of times this season. And, about time we get it all together one night.
And that's huge. That's bold, especially with a big night ahead of Brandon Plank, who sinks down to 6th in the order. You still finish second. It's going to help you in the points, but you still feel like you could have gotten more. What do you do next week then at Cedar Lake to get more out of the car?
It's not really so much as get more out of the car. Honestly, towards the last 10 laps, I think probably one of the faster cars toward the front of the field. Just the lack of sportsmanship by the winner of the race tonight, whether it be spiking the brakes as we're coming to the green to stack everybody up so he can get, a 4 or 5 car length jump, or, driving the outside car all the way up to the wall just to get a better, initial restart. That's not what racing's about, at least not where I come from. It's whoever's got the better car, not whoever can almost, drive over somebody and take advantage of stacking the field to get the win. That is what it is. Next time, we're not gonna take too kindly and, move over as much as we did tonight. We'll keep it right where we had it, and if they run over us, they run over us. But to have it come down to something as far as playing games with the whole field on restarts, it's just a pure lack of respect for the competition, the series that you're running, in my opinion.
Wow. Old words. I'm not even going to try and follow that one up, Brett. All things considered, fantastic night for you. Certainly, I think You want to go up and get that P1 spot? Do you do it next week at Cedar Lake?
Cedar Lake's a really good track for us. Every series that we've been in, we've either won the race at Cedar Lake or been within the top 3. So hopefully looking to keep a good going here with the top 3 struggle tonight. Hopefully Cedar Lake can be the one where we break it loose and, find ourselves in victory lane. But, only time will tell. This series is filled with, some outstanding drivers. Other than Brandon Plank and Garrett, who's got 2 wins apiece, anytime you come into the server week in and week out, it's anybody's race for the level of competition that we've got.
Anybody's race for sure, and one of these days it will be Brett Rolls' race. Buddy, congratulations on another top 5. This time, another top 3, another top 2. Second place at Knoxville. Gotta feel good. We'll see you next time.
All right, thanks, guys.
Brett Rolls, certainly. Strong opinions on the evening. We'll see what Scott Fritz has got to say.
Yeah, we'll see how we follow that one up. That was pretty quick rolling, but hey, somebody else who was quick rolling was Scott Fritz. Scott, this is Joe Donahue with Pit Stop TV. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
All right, my man. You got to explain to us what you saw and how you got through the middle on that last lap.
Well, I'd been really good on the bottom all night long, and starting there towards the middle of the pack, I knew that I could just roll the bottom and everyone keep getting choked up top. And there on that last lap, I just kept trying to keep the car as straight as possible and try and enter a little bit harder in, beat him through the center, and I was able to beat him on exit that time. And he knew I was coming, so he got a little anxious and got in the throttle a little quick, and that helped me out a little bit there. But it was a great night.
Yeah, a great night for you for sure. We've talked about sort of you've been strong in the beginnings of night so far this season, and tonight it was a little less so at the start, but you definitely had it at the end of the race. Was that something you practiced for? Was it the car? Or how did things come together like this tonight that got you this great run at the end?
Well, actually, I think it's a little bit of luck because it seems like qualify good, run so good in the heat, and then come feature time, I'm one of the best guys on the slick, and it seems like I get caught in someone else's mess or I'd get taken out, and I just never have any luck. And then finally tonight, it kind of all came together, and I just rolled the bottom and kind of committed to the bottom there the entire race, and it ended up paying off.
Well, paying off for sure. Your first top 3 performance with the series now this season. And do you look at Cedar Lake? Do you look at the rest of the races coming up? Do you think you can keep this momentum going? How are you going to be able to keep that 48 car in these post-race interviews?
Yeah, hopefully the luck kind of stays our way here, and we can just keep it rolling and hopefully win a couple races. I felt like we should have won a couple already, and hopefully we can make a run at this championship, make a late charge here.
Well, there's plenty of time to do it, Scott, and you're definitely one of those guys who's rising through the field. So we'll look to be seeing what that 48 car can do. But tell us, who's helping you out? Who's making it work here for you and your entire team to get these good finishes?
Obviously, I got to thank all my guys back at T-Brain Motorsports and Majula Say Speed Shop. They help us out a ton. And I got to thank Blue Gas iRacing Series, Wrath ATV, UTV, 605 Racing Tire Solutions, Speedworks Headers, and you guys in the booth and putting this on, and Corby and all the BRP guys for putting this on.
Absolutely, Scott. Well, hey, congratulations from us. It's nice to have you up in the booth at the end of the race like this, and hopefully we'll get to do it a couple more times this season.
Yeah, thank you guys.
And there is your third place finisher, Scott Fritz. An excellent performance, and man, that run to the line just will go down in history as one of the greatest things we've gotten on tape this season. That was such a cool and exciting way to finish the race.
I think that's got to go up there with the race win from Lima Land last season with the late models, if you recall. So, yeah, absolutely. Fantastic finish. Even though it was for third. Fantastic stuff right there. And that's why you've got to stick with the BRP iRacing series to the end. I mean, we've seen so many of those great finishes. It's almost week in, week out, it seems like. Fantastic stuff. The green flag racing tonight was fantastic early on, and certainly a lot of developing stories throughout the course of the evening, including maybe a few that Brett Rolls wants us to maybe take a look at, or we'll see. But the top 3 are Jamie Porter, Brett Rolls, and Scott Fritz. We talked to each one of them. Michael Hackett, sorry, buddy. Just like the Bills here at halftime, they're coming up a little bit short. He finishes 4th. He'll get what I'm talking about there. Travis Miller ends up 5th here tonight at Knoxville. Brandon Plank in 6th. Adam Hilton 7th. Mike Winter, Tyler Joshambowski, and Jeff Sharp make up the top 10. Really good night there for Jeff Sharp. I like to see that for the 28 car.
Yeah, his first top 10. And how about that rebound for Travis Miller, too, all the way up to 5th place there. Brett Haas comes home 11th, Alan Slide in 12th. That's a pretty solid performance for the two machine, I dare say. Matt DeRitter finishes off 13th with Hinton Clark right behind him. Fair rebound-ish. Got in a couple incidents for him. Tanner Correa rounds out your top 15. Then you see Reynolds in 16th in the 079. Big Show Randy Giroux in his first feature event of the season. He gets 17th, so it's a start in the right direction. That's progress. Kyle Wendt, he 18 at the end of this one with Dan Sider in 19th. And Double H Hunter Holberg caught up in a couple incidents to hold on to top 20 with that last spot in it.
21st this evening after 50 laps. Brett Fisher, the final car on the lead lap. Richard Pereira and Dylan Davidson, both 1 lap down, 22nd, 23rd, 2 laps down. My goodness, the heartbreak for Ryan Beagle, 24th. That's going to sting, as well as Garrett Zacharias evening, 25th, Joe. We've already included our one drop week for the season. There's no helping this evening at Knoxville for Garrett Zacharias. That is going to punch his season in the gut. He's got a rebound next week at Cedar Lake. Corby Daniels finishes 26th today, brings up the rear of drivers who made it into the feature. Really, really wild night tonight at Knoxville. And we've got a lot more where it came from. The rest of the week, of course, no more BRP iRacing, but we've got a lot more and a lot of great racetracks. Well, 3 of them to be exact, I guess, before we go back into it with the BRP iRacing series next week at Cedar Lake. Look at this, though. Wednesday evening, so not tomorrow evening, but the next night after that, Bristol Motor Speedway with NASCAR trucks. That's going to be fun. The Outlaws Sim Series is their final race before they go racing for a championship. They've got a big elimination coming up for this one. It is the world's fastest half mile, the last great Coliseum. Who gets desperate? Who makes moves? Who bumps somebody to make it into the championship race and fight for a championship? You'll have to tune in Wednesday and find out. 7 drivers yet to, well, I guess 6, because Seth Berger already won a race at Talladega, so 6 drivers have to fight for 3 more spots. You've got to tune in. 7:30 Eastern, the Outlaws Sim Series will be fun. Then Thursday evening, look at that, Phillip Island. That is a brand new track to us. Been on the sim for a long time, and it looks fantastic. Look at that scenery. Joe, I don't think we've ever, aside from Long Beach and Detroit, I don't think just water as a feature has been included. Like, that's not usually part of our presentation. We don't usually have to think about a river or an ocean in this case. That is really, really cool. That is scenic. That is what you should tune in for, along with all of the championship battles in action. Yeah, that stuff too, on Thursday evening with the North American Racing League. And then SCAR, pushed back 1 week, so now Mid-Ohio is this coming Sunday. A lot to look for there as well. GT1 cars, the Chevrolet Corvette C6 and the Aston Martin DBR9. What's not to love? There's a lot of great racing this week and a lot of great social updates as well.
Yes, be sure to check out all the social media platforms with Pit Stop TV. Go over to Facebook, search them up, facebook.com/pitstoptv. You can watch the streams. You can keep up with stuff throughout the week, keep up with stuff throughout the races. Go to Twitter, @pitstoptv_. I can about guarantee you're going to hear that Brett Rolls interview again soon, so you want to be sure to check that out over at the Twitter account. You can go to Instagram, @pit_stop_tv. Lots of great videos, pictures, and et cetera, et cetera. Emerson, one of the best in the business when it comes to getting those picturesque shots of our events. And you can get those updates throughout the racing and throughout your week. And then obviously our YouTube channel, youtube.com/c/pitstoptv1. You can search up Pitstop TV. Usually comes up, especially when we're live. It'll come straight up if we're live. And you can come check out Outlaw Sim Series, NARL, or SCAR Racing. But easy to check it out, easy to get a hold of all of the great broadcasts that come throughout this channel.
So final thoughts then from Knoxville, Joe. I mean, there's a lot to try and wrap up, right?
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack. And I think the second interview of the night was a big part of that. But also, we got a lot of green flag racing in, which is something we hadn't had as much of that we wanted throughout the first 4 races. So we had a really good long green flag run. A lot of really great racing on the track. I think Garrett Zacharias is a huge talking point with that performance and ending point. Obviously, the ending location in the final standings of the race doesn't really sum up his race as well as it should, but it's going to make the championship very interesting. Brett Rolls on a roll still. Travis Miller, big rebound. There's a lot of talking points, and it's just shows what the BRP iRacing series is all about. It's so exciting. So much stuff goes on. You can't expect or predict any of it.
Yeah, I don't think there's any Nostradamusing the BRP iRacing series at all. It's just you've got to show up each night, each week, and sit along for the ride. There's really no predicting anything at this point. That said, maybe watch out for our predictions for Week 6 at Cedar Lake and who we think might get the checkered flag here soon. I'm looking forward to trying to devise exactly who I think. You know, one thing I wish we could do and keep up with weekly and make happen for all of our series is fantasy leagues. Wouldn't that be a ton of fun?
I would love that. That would be very exciting, and that would be a really great way to interact more with these drivers and fans, and everybody could, have a little bit more to tune in for. That would be really cool, actually.
We'll have to see if maybe something comes along the pipeline, if that ever happens. But fantastic evening from the Knoxville Raceway. A big shout-out to all the BRP iRacing Series partners. Of course, the namesake of the series, Bicknell Racing Products, as well as MDR Designs, helping you look the best you possibly can. Let's not forget Jam Performance, proud supporter of the BRP iRacing Series, as well as Lindy Direct. Find more information at lindydirect.com. They are the largest industrial, medical, and specialty gas supplier in the world. Of course, cannot pass up an opportunity to talk about Creative Turnings and the Korea family, everything they're doing over there. Custom wood and acrylic pens, bowls, cutting boards, and more. Find them on Facebook and pick up the perfect present for the ones you love. You know what? We've got a Pit Stop TV Secret Santa coming up. I might just have to take a look at Creative Turning and see what they've got to offer. See what maybe I can get for one of these guys here coming up for Christmas. And of course, a big shout out and thank you to the Super Dirt Car Series. 2022 is going to be a big year for them. A lot of great stuff always going on in the World Racing Group family of series, and I think the Super Dirt Car Series is one of the best ones to take a look at. With the Northeast Premier Series, showcasing the big block modifieds, premier drivers, the ground-pounding, earth-shattering, window-rattling beast of the Northeast. It's the Super Dirt Car Series. That is a mouthful. Joe, how about a mouthful of our partners here at Pit Stop TV?
Oh, we got some great partners over here at Pit Stop TV. Tucson Sound Art. It's the holiday season, and it's time to head on over to TucsonSoundArt.com. Get yourself one of those beautifully framed, high-quality, built-in Bluetooth speakers to whatever picture your heart desires. You can use our promo code PitStopTV and get 10% off your purchase. And I'd want to get that purchasing kind of quickly, though. I mean, Christmas is getting here kind of quick, so get on over to TucsonSoundArt.com ASAP and get yourself one of those excellent, high-quality Bluetooth speaker pictures. It's one of those gifts that you don't know you need until you have it. We also got a big shout-out to Permanent Makeup and Cryo in Maine. When it comes to your appearance, you deserve the best care that money can buy. There are 4 locations: Auburn, Lewiston, Naples, and Saco, Maine. Permanent Makeup and Cryo in Maine's owner, Ashley Boyer, is a certified micropigmentation specialist, providing professional, safe, and personalized care. The whole team will do that. And hey, contact them. Their website, permanentmakeupinmaine.com. The number 207-358-8683. You can call or text them. I'm sure they're going to be more than happy to make sure that they can get you the utmost of quality services and products for Christmas gifts as well. So if you're in that neck of the woods, be sure to hit up Ashley and her team. And hey, there was a special someone out there who's going to be very grateful for a gift like that from simply the best in Maine. We also got to thank Whiplash Media, the camera packs, the iRacing overlays, the paint schemes, all of the great stuff, some of which you've seen here tonight, is all available. You can go through the website, www.pitstoptv.com/whiplash. Get access to all of that. The official graphic and camera provider of Pit Stop TV, and a lot of really great stuff. And hey, like I said, you see it here on the broadcast. You know how great it is. Get on over to the website and get yourself hooked up. Finally, we got to thank BAM Racing Videos. Brendan makes some great stuff. I say this every time I get to read this. I take part in every racing video that Brendan posts on the BAM Racing Videos account. Buy a racing fan for the racing community, and you can tell in the quality of the stuff that he posts. It's off season in the real world, so obviously we're all chilling inside a little more often these days, which, some of us are thankful for a little time off, and others are revved up and ready to get back to a racetrack. But either or, you'll appreciate the work that BAM Racing Videos does and be able to just play back those nice memories and get yourself all revved up for the next racing season.
Yeah, sure. We're fast headed to winter, right? But just yesterday, he had new content go out over on his YouTube channel. His top 10 crashes from July of 2021. So the fact that it's from July, that tells me that he's got a lot more on the way. You should head over to BAM Racing Videos today, subscribe, click that bell as everything, you know, all of that, and certainly check out BAM Racing Videos. It's been a fun one. It has been a very, very fun one. I don't really know how else to try and sum it up. I mean, just fantastic racing each and every week with the BRP iRacing series. Seems like we're a broken record each time.
You know, I think it sums it up really nice tonight. And sometimes you don't need words to describe how excellent a show is. And I think with the BRP iRacing series, they leave us speechless in a lot of ways. But tonight was definitely in one of the best ways possible. Great race, great show, timely, efficient, exciting, a little dramatic. You hit all the boxes and sets up a great show at Cedar Lake next time. Cedar Lake's a really fun racetrack, and very excited to see what these guys do with these modifieds next time.
It's going to be wild. I think next time out at Cedar Lake, a little bit tight of a racetrack, tight of a racing line, a little more banking. It's going to be a lot of fun, I think, so make sure you tune in next Monday evening, 7:45, 8 p.m. Eastern, right around in there, and we'll take you through the calamity that is going to be, I think, Cedar Lake, but in the best of ways. That'll do it this evening from the virtual Knoxville Raceway. Once again, thank you so much for tuning in and joining us for tonight's action, and we hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. For all of Pit Stop TV, you saw their names bottom right just a moment ago. Joe Donahue, I almost said John Donahue, buddy, I'm sorry. Joe Donahue and Emerson Arden on the call with me this evening. It's been a long day. My name is Andrew Cardinale IV. I'm going to go study all of my guys' names one more time, and we'll be back to you on Wednesday evening with the Outlaws Sim Series. You will not want to miss it. We'll catch you next time.